In a competitive world, average won't cut it. The Success Launch Point shows you how to stand out, deliver massive value, and rise above the crowd. With on-demand courses, expert coaching, and a community focused on growth, you'll accelerate your career and your paycheck. It's time to level up. Check out modernobserver.com/launchpoint.
Trump and Putin to meet, ICE agents to wear body cams, Microsoft to leave China, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to meet in Budapest to discuss ending the war in Ukraine, following a lengthy call between the two leaders. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will lead a U.S. delegation in preliminary talks with Russian officials next week. The summit date hasn't been announced, but it will follow Trump's scheduled meeting today at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky. The U.S. is weighing whether to give long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, a threat Russia has strongly criticized. Trump said great progress was made in the Putin call. Senate Democrats voted Thursday to block the annual full-year defense appropriations bill, despite the measure passing out of committee with strong bipartisan support earlier this year. The vote is the latest sign of deteriorating bipartisan relations on Capitol Hill as the government shutdown drags into a third week. The Senate voted 50-44 against proceeding to the bill after Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer objected to considering the defense spending bill without also voting on the annual Labor, Health, and Human Services Appropriations bill. It needed 60 votes to advance. Troubled by clashes between agents and the public, a judge on Thursday said she will require federal immigration officers in the Chicago area to wear body cameras, and she also summoned a senior official to court next week to discuss an enforcement operation that has resulted in more than 1,000 arrests. U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis said she was a little startled after seeing TV images of street confrontations that involved tear gas and other tactics during an immigration crackdown. The body cameras are expected to record footage of the assaults on ICE agents that have been rampant in Chicago. Former White House National Security Advisor John Bolton was indicted Thursday on 18 counts related to the improper handling of classified materials. According to the indictment, Bolton was indicted on 8 counts of transmission of national defense information and 10 counts of retention of national defense information. The documents Bolton transmitted were sent to 2 individuals unauthorized to view classified documents. Furniture tariffs have prompted IKEA to raise prices. The Swedish home furnishings giant, known for its low prices, is particularly vulnerable to tariffs because it sources only 15% of the products it sells in the U.S. regionally. We have to adapt and pass on parts of the cost increase to the customers, Tolga Onkyu, retail manager at Inga, which operates most IKEA stores, told the Wall Street Journal. Total retail sales at the company fell for the second year in a row as inflation keeps U.S. shoppers from making some big purchases. President Trump's 25% tariff on upholstered wooden furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities went into effect this week. Microsoft plans to shift the production of the majority of its new hardware, including Surface laptops and data center servers, outside China, potentially by early next year. It's the latest effort by Microsoft and other American tech companies, including Amazon, Google, and Apple, to shed some of their dependence on China amid ongoing geopolitical tensions between Washington and Beijing. Nestle is cutting 16,000 jobs as part of a turnaround effort. The biggest food company in the world is slashing the roles to simplify our organization and automate our processes, CEO Philip Navrati wrote in a LinkedIn post. The maker of everything from Kit Kat candy bars to Nespresso coffee pods, Nestle has faced investor pressure over falling demand in China and internal drama, including the ouster of its previous CEO, Laurent Flakes, over an undisclosed romantic relationship with an employee. Nestle's stock spiked more than 9% yesterday following the news of the layoffs. Ace Frehley, Kiss's original lead guitarist and one of the most iconic guitarists in rock and roll, died Thursday in Morristown, New Jersey, his family announced. He was 74 years old. "We are completely devastated and heartbroken," the family said. "In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. We cherish all of his finest memories, his laughter, and celebrate his strengths and kindness that he bestowed upon others. The magnitude of his passing is of epic proportions and beyond comprehension." Reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements, Ace's memory will continue to live on forever. Frehley suffered a fall at the end of September and had a second fall more recently that caused his death. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.